Hello everyone, my name is Penh. Today our group 3 is going to make a presentation about our lesson, which is chapter 21, Anti-discriminatory practice. And today our group is consisted of 3 members, me, Penh, Sally, and Sukun Vatana. And for our content today, we have 4 points. The first one is introduction. The second one is the individual practice. The third one is the organizational context, and the last one is group influence. The basic starting point is that developing anti-discriminatory practice is an essential part of good practice. If we practice in the way that we take no account of discrimination, we may find out that we are actually doing more harm than good. So that's why our today's lesson is dividing into 3 main points. The first one is to look at the way that individual practitioners can move in the direction of anti-discriminatory practice. And the second one is to outline the organizational context and consider aspects of organizational policy and culture. And the last one is to explore the way that group of practitioners can work together to influence the direction of change for both individual practice and organizational context. The second part is about individual practice. We people workers, we should know that we all tend to have a degree of autonomy in terms of decision making. So it is very important for us to consider the consequences of our action. And as we people workers, we generally in the position of power in relation to the people we seek to have. But we have to ensure that the power that we use is positively and constructively. In this view, we have to look at carefully at the power that we use in our society and its effect on advantage or minority of the group. We have to if we want to know that we are using our power positively or constructively or not, we have to address 3 sets of issues. The first one is recognizing oppression, the second one is partner, and the last one is empowerment. Recognizing oppression. Recognizing oppression is the term that we are able to recognize the oppression, because there are many aspects of oppression that has been ingrained deeply into our everyday life, and maybe we are not notice them at all. So as the people living in the society, we have to know, or we have to aware of discrimination and be able to recognize the oppression. There are a number of processes that is associated with discrimination and oppression, and I also list it down below. The first one is marginalization. Marginalization is the situation that many people has been excluded from the mainstream where the important decisions are made. For example, you work in a company and you are going to make a project, but in the term of decision, you only take your own decision over other member. So it means that you are not allowed other member to make a decision. So it indicates that other member has been excluded from the decision of doing the project. And another one is an idea that only men could be the head of the household. Even nowadays, the women also have the right equal to the men, but it still think that only men could be the head of the household. So it means that the woman has been excluded from the decision that she also could be the head of the household. Another point is group closure. Group closure is the situation that people define themselves as a group and exclude other people unfairly. It means that this point you are focus only on your group and you are not like taking care about other. It makes sure that only your group are involved in this work. For example, the club that seek to exclude the women from the club and only choose the men to join the club. It means that they want to form a group of men and exclude or ignore the women. In this point, we also can explain by another example, like you are doing a group assignment with your friend, and then you just want to do it with your group and you don't also like you don't care about the other member. Maybe you are close to only 2 or 3 of them in the group, so you are going to form or you are going to divide apart for only your group and ignore other, and it means that you are exclude the other member that you are not close or you dislike unfairly from the assignment that you are going to make. Another point is stereotyping. Stereotyping is the belief that particular individual or group is unhelpful in the work. It means that you are believe someone in your group or someone is not to be helpful in your work. For example, you are doing an assignment, but you think that this person or this member is not qualified enough to help you in the work because you may judge them by the activity that you see every day or their experience. You may think that this person will not be helpful if he or she is involved in the assignment or the project. And another thing that I want to tell you is that please don't allow our own thinking to rely on the oppressive stereotype. The other point is about stigmatization. Stigmatization is the term that people tend to be stigmatized by others. It means that he or she sometimes has been automatically seen in the negative term or the negative way. For example, you may stigmatize some people that homeless or some people that live around the city area as a thief or someone who may or build the problem for the society. You may not think that they are not just a citizen, even though they are an innocent people or a simple citizen, but by the stigmatization, you already stigmatize them as the person that is always cause the problem to the society, or they may be a thief, something like that. And the last point of the recognizing oppression is scapegoating. Scapegoating refers to the term of individual or the group that become the person who take the blame for the problem. It means that even though they are not involved in making the problem or cause the problem, but they become the target that people blame them for making a problem. For example, when you make an assignment with your group and mostly you are not take their idea into the project into the assignment, but when the result of your assignment is come out and you got such a bad feedback or the problem that occur in your result, you may blame them or blame those people for being a problem or blame them that they are the cause of the problem of your assignment. Of course, the point that I have explained above is the point that we should take into consider whether we have done all those activities or not, because all those activities is come up because of the use of our power in the wrong way to help the people. When we use our power in the wrong way to help the people, it creates such an oppression and discrimination to the other people, and it's also the starting point of being fail in working as a partner as well. Our next slide is about partnership. Partnership is an important point that we always see in the book. If you want to work successfully or effectively, you have to work with the partnership. And to connect from our slide above, it means that individual practice, we can also call it as the fail of working with the partnership. So when you fail to work in the partnership, there will be some result that cost to you. And the first result of failing working with the partnership is resentment and cooperation. Resentment cooperation is occur when you are not involved someone in the work or you are excluding them from the work, and then they may feel angry with you that you are not take them apart as the part of the project or the part of the work. So they may result by not going to have a good cooperation with you, or they are maybe reply you in an angry way or in a harsh way. The next point is Mysterification. Mysterification is occur when you are fail to work with partnership. Working with partnership is about openness. But when you are not going to open your mind or talking to your partner or discuss about your information all the time with your partner, they will create the mysterification. It means that all your work has become mystery. For example, when you have a work to discuss and you are not discuss with your partner, you only do it and make decision by yourself, or you just make a decision or discuss among your group, not with other people. It means that you are not ready or you are not open to talk with them, and those information will not reach the other partner of your member, and everything, the data, the information that you've been discussed will be become the mystery among the other. The next point is dependency. Dependency is also the result of fail doing with the partnership. It's the situation when the client is not involved in the partnership and they will have less or have no control on everything that happened, because you are not allow them to make decision or to join, or maybe you are just doing anything by yourself without asking their opinion or their idea. The last part of the point is short life success. Short life success is the success in the short term that you that come from your work or come from your work individually, but it will no longer happen to the future, because one day you will out of your idea or drain out your idea. But if you want it to become the long life success, you have to work with your partner, because when you work with your partner, you will come up with a new idea, or you come up with something new that going to continue your success to the future. And of course, this is the end of my part, so I would like to give the floor to Sally to continue the presentation. Thank you.
So thank you, Panyadat, for passing on the floor to me. Now let's continue with my part. So my part, I will talk about empowerment. So the term empowerment here means that people should be helped to gain power and control over their own life and circumstances. In other words, it means that empowerment is to help people to have a voice or to have a opportunity for putting forward their point of view in some things. For example, in the area that is dominated by men, it is hard for women to speak up or raising their opinion about something or about a particular issue. And as we have seen in some contexts, such as in a political area or in the workplace, women ideas or women's opinion have been counting out because they think that women idea it is not important and it is not necessary at all. And moreover, they also think that women don't have enough power or insufficient power to rule or to lead some things. Because of these ideas in which we think that women are weak, that's why we encourage those who have power or privilege to help or promote and give women an opportunity to raise up their voice or opinion about something without getting discriminated. So next part here is about the organizational context. So in these sections, I will talk about equalities. So it is clear that in some organizations, there are some problems which related with equalities, which mean that people don't have the same opportunities. In addition to this, it must need to have equal opportunities for every employees in the organizations, because if things were treated in an unfair ways, there will be two sides of it. The first one is about the group who gain more advantages, and another one is about the group of people who gain less advantages. For example, for those who have a potentials to influence a lot of group of workers in a company might use their power in order to gain advantage by putting all their work to those who have less power or little influence in the company to complete the work for them. And moreover, as we know that in a company, there will be various type of people who work for it, include a disabled worker and non-disabled worker. Thus, if we only value the work that have done by a non-disabled worker by thinking that a disabled worker might not have complete the work on times, or think the work that have done by a disabled worker is insufficient, it would be also called a form of discrimination as well. So despite that, we need to value everyone's work, even though they are disabled, but they also can perform well in their job, as well as a non-disabled worker do as well. So to sum up this point, I think that everyone in a workplace must have the same equal opportunity.
Hello everyone, my name is Watane and I'll continue the presentation. I'm responsible for part 3, so let's move on to it right away. So just like what my teammate have already mentioned, a single or individual practice might not make a big or significant impact toward the anti-discriminatory practice. However, with a group, they make a different impacts to the problem, as it can be like far more effective in promoting changes, because group can influence organization at both macro levels and micro level. So it is important for the group influence, because it can, just like what I have mentioned, it can influence both organization at macro levels and micro levels, because a groups of anti-discriminatory practice can work together to influence the directions of the organization toward the anti-discriminatory practice. So there are 5 groups that can influence organization in changing direction. So first is staff meeting. So a staff meeting have to promote anti-discrimination through meeting agenda by expressing their concern and also their suggestion through meetings. So by doing this, staff can put their concern and also suggestion regarding the discrimination on the table, discuss and also find a solution together, because in some company that practice anti-discriminatory is likely to hold a meeting about the anti-discriminatory topic in their meeting agenda, so that the staff can express their concern and also the issue about discrimination to the discussion. So regular staff meeting can also enhance practice within the groups of staff in the company or organization. So for the second point is training. So in a company or organization, training is used when organization want to make changes in order to promote their organization development. So a well-designed discrimination training program can help to try a positive and also inclusive behavior to reinforce the message that preventing the discrimination and harassment, to ensure that everyone in the company or that every employee get equal opportunity. So training program is highly influenced, because anti-discriminatory practice or training programs will raise the employee awareness across the organization of what discrimination is, and also the role of employee that they can play in order to help creating a safe workplace that is free from discriminations. Moving on to another part is support group. So a support group here refer to a groups of people with common experience or concern who provide each other encouragement, comfort and advice. So a support group in a workplace is a staff that is a member of a particular with a particular background that usually come together to support each other and act as a pressure groups, such as a black worker or also sometimes a woman groups as well. So the advantages of support group here is that it benefit everyone. Such group not just only benefit its member, but also benefits the other worker as well as the organizations, because with the support groups, it provide the important insight into the experience of discriminations and oppressions. So for another part is development group. So development groups is different from supporting group, because like development group is a group of people that like share or like have the similar idea or perspective and joining hands together in order to combat discrimination. So they identify problems that needed to be tackled as well as the solutions, and also like raise the awareness of the discrimination as well. And moving on to another part, last but not least, is user participation. So user participation can also like reduce and eliminate the clash between user and organization toward the views. So I mean here is that client can also like contribute to the anti-discrimination by contributing on their planning, developing and also like evaluating the service that might lead to like a positive result, to like in terms of identifying the barriers and also the aspects of discrimination and also the oppressions. So hence we can conclude that discrimination can come in many forms. It is not just like about treating people differently based on their skin color, based on their race, religions and sexes. So discrimination can also occur without our awareness. So we need to recognize different forms of oppression, such as marginalizations, group closure, stereotyping, stigmatizing, and also scapegoating as well. So because when these things happen, relationship between the co-worker can also become strained, and failure to work like in partnership is likely to result in resentment, dependency and so on. So in order to avoid discriminations, and practice anti-discriminatory practice, we need to be aware of what we do, what we are doing do not contribute to the oppressions and also discriminations. So we must ensure that our own attitude and action as well as the language we use is not discriminatory and oppressions. And another strategy for combating discriminatory practice discrimination is that is through like the group's influence and also empowerment. So that is all from our group. Thank you for listening to our presentations.